president at bottom of the 420th inning. So there's a crack in the bat. It's hit. He's running. He's rounding first. He's rounding second, completely ignoring third base. Oh, he's sliding head first into 69th base with Doug Mellard.
What's up? Welcome to 69th Base, the podcast where I make fun of Skip Bayless and all his stupid takes. I'm your host, Doug Millard. We got a fun show for you. Andrew Polk is on the show once again. He's going to talk all about his beloved Saints and their ending to the season, plus a very honest take on what's to come for them. Of course, we're going to discuss the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady always wedges his head in there when Skip Bayless is involved, as does Dak Prescott. Why? I'm a Cowboys fan. I still don't understand why he's in every conversation with this guy. Also, going to share some weird stand-up stories with you guys and start a new rumor and much more. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you. Thanks for listening. Guys, I went to Houston this past weekend for my wife's birthday. It was very exciting. We were excited to go, but our flight back was a little weird. We had a long night the night before Super Sunday. We partied hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy. We got nuts. We got very nuts, and drank a little too much. And I'm sure we've all been on a plane where you get on and the temperature is a little too hot when you get on. When you first get on, doesn't matter what time of year, it's the winter. And it was still too hot. But you think once the plane takes off, it's going to cool down. But that never happened. And we both felt like shit. We were hungover, and it just never came around. Those fans never did shit. We were just feeling so terrible. And, we wait for takeoff, and then you wait for that sweet sound of ding. You can move around the cabin, all that stuff. And we're like, okay, finally they're going to bring drinks around. So I was going to order a water and an orange juice and a cup of ice just to stuff down my pants, whatever it takes to just not be scalding hot. Well, it takes forever. We don't get service for so long. This is Southwest, by the way. Nothing's coming around. So I finally just get up. I don't even know if we can move around the cabin at that point. I get up. I go to the bathroom. I just splash water. I just put water all over my body. I'm just drenched in water, all the cool water I can get all over. I look like a maniac. I look so crazy. I'm just so hot, but it felt so much better. I felt so much better. And I run hot. I always want it so much colder than it always is. But so anyway, I look crazy. I go back to my seat, and still no water. I'm so dehydrated. I already drank the water I brought on the plane. All of it. Every last drop. I'm going crazy. And finally, they come around, and I'm like, I order my water and my orange juice and my cup of ice. She's like, no, you can only get one thing at a time, which I've never heard before. So I order my water. It takes them forever to come back around. They finally come back around. They give me my water. I chug it in like 2 sips. I make eye contact and also I need that orange juice I asked you about. Nothing. And it never really comes. It's just so long. It's so much wait. Like the staff was very shitty to us. They looked put out if you asked for anything else. What else happened? There were so many things that just went wrong. They were just short with us, and on top of that, at the end, we were about to land, and right as we're landing, the plane does this almost barrel roll, and everybody on the flight goes, oh, and then we straighten out, so it's like, oh, we're not gonna die, but then we go up and down, up and down, up and down, right as we're about to touch down, and it was just that weird thing of like, of course this is how we die, you know what I mean? It was just such a bad flight all the way around. Literally everything that could go wrong. I mean, we didn't die, so there was that. But not a good staff. We were dehydrated and hot. It was just bad. But I would rather, every time I flew, I had to fly with that same crew that was rude and all that, than to hang out with Skip Bayless ever, you know? So there's that. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's bring on our guest, Andrew Polk, everybody.
Hey!
Yeah. Holy crap.
fuck.
The level's way up.
God
No,
damn.
it's good. I like the enthusiasm. Thanks for coming on. You are a world famous Saints fan. That season was a fun end for you guys.
Oh God. Well, actually, I think the Saints community was happy to finally just get beat, and it not be some wild horse shit shenanigan. Like everybody was fine with just getting beaten the dog dick off of them, and that's what happened this year. We were.
Well, what
fine
about the
with it.
pass interference though? There wasn't.
It doesn't matter. We shouldn't have gone to overtime. We should
Yeah.
have lost by 30.
I love it.
No one gives a fuck.
See-
I'm glad it's over with.
You're also an objective fan. I talked to some people in Sacramento a couple weeks ago that listened to the podcast, and they were like, "We like that you're objective, like you and your guests." And so, like, I like that we're not fucking idiots that just scream at everything.
Yeah.
And, like,
Well, I am.
yeah.
But once the microphone's in my face, I realize I have to pretend to be smart.
No, there is no fooling anybody with either of us.
Yeah, it was a fine ending to a good season. I hope they get rid of Breeze. I honestly do.
Wow.
I-
See, that's objectivity.
I think that we need to get rid of Breeze because the pressure the last 3 years has been insane.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, the suspension is over. Come back. Okay, almost there. Seattle took it away from you. Up. San Francisco took it away from you. Up. Minnesota took it away from you. Up. Los Angeles took it away from you. The pressure cannot be overcome at this point.
Right.
Breeze has to go to the Chargers. Breeze has to go he has to go somewhere else because
Yeah.
that cloud hanging over the Saints is not going to be pierced.
Right. I don't think it sounds like it's retirement or something's up because it's been
Or being a Republican senator.
yeah. Last year, I think it said it took him 12 days to figure out a decision. This year, it's been like a month, and he still is very. I thought he was going to immediately be like, "I'm coming back," but it's been a little bit. And what do you think about Taysom Hill or Bridgewater? Do you want somebody else, or what's your ideal plan for getting out of that situation?
Well, I'm not a salary cap genius. I'm not a contract guy. If they could keep Bridgewater and keep Taysom Hill and do the same thing they were doing this year, where
Right.
Taysom executes those running plays and like the short yardage gains and things where you have to have like a strong Steve Young quarterback and keep Bridgewater in there for stability and accuracy, I think that would be ideal. I don't think there's any way they can do that. And the Saints recently were talking about Taysom Hill taking over and being the franchise quarterback. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. It seems like a bit of a thing you say going into.
Yeah, I don't love any of the three of them individually, but all three is great. But that's not going to happen.
There are a lot of people that say, well, look, Bridgewater went 5-0 as a quarterback for the Saints. It's like, yeah, he did, but the
That's not
Saints
gonna happen again.
defense
Yeah, right,
really stepped it up, and he wasn't fucking airing it out or anything. In those games, I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but it wasn't 4 in a fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see.
Man.
And
Hearing a Saints fan say, get rid of Breeze, that's... Dude, but yeah, I'm the same way.
It's too much. It's too much to overcome. He's getting too old, and it's not going to happen. This is a young fucking team.
Yeah.
It's special teams stars, Deontay Harris, that Gray guy, whatever his fucking name is, Gene Gray. I don't know.
From the X-Men?
The Saints are a very young team other than their quarterback.
Yeah.
They got to have a young quarterback.
Right. Yeah, it'll be weird because there's some mock drafts out there assuming they keep Breeze, and if they did, pairing Michael Thomas with a stud receiver, like how crazy would that be? But I agree. I think you have to burn that pick on a cute. Like there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out. See what happens.
Yeah, and they're not going to be up shit creek either if they keep one of the two that they currently have.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give J.T. Barrett a shot. They'll get him in there.
which guy's JT
He's
Barrett?
like the fourth quarterback on the Saints. He's
Oh,
an old
right.
Ohio State guy.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
Everyone on the Saints is from Ohio State.
Before we dive deeper into the football shit,
Which is what people are clamoring for right now.
yeah.
Saints football analysis 4 weeks after their season ended.
But I want to talk to you about some see if you have any stories similar to this. People love to hear behind the scenes stand up horror stories, and this was not necessarily a horror. It's just funny to me. I was in Florida at one point. Well, first of all, getting to this gig, my flight was delayed. I get there, I'm a little panicked to hopefully I can at least change at the hotel before I get on the show, maybe shower. But I'm in a hurry. I have to drop this rental car off before a certain period or pay an extra $200 fucking dollars, whatever. So I'm race to that place, drop it off, and then but now I don't have a fucking vehicle. This is pre-Uber. This is forever ago. And I immediately just flagged down this car. And
like a hobo?
Yeah,
a
like a total hobo. And it was this cute girl. And I get in her car. I was like, hey, I know this is weird, but I'm trying to get to this hotel. I was like, I've got this show. And she's like, hey, get on in. And then I get in, and she immediately shows me that she has a beer in her lap. And this is Florida. It's yeah, this all checks out. And then I make it on time and all that. But that was just a weird start to the whole weekend. I never see that girl again. She's very nice, though. Thank you for getting me there.
Her.
Crazy. Yeah, she was dead.
She's done.
And it was a quick and painless death, though. And then we...
well, you did give her a big setup. You were like, this woman pulls over and picks me up, and she has a beer, and, well, she's not around anymore.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Nothing else to that story at all. And but that night I did these shows, and there was this warning, this piece of paper on the wall, very small piece of paper that said hey, there's going to be some crazy talk in this room from these comedians. It was a restaurant. It wasn't a real club or anything, and which is most of comedy now. And there was this little piece of paper you could barely see that was hey, there's gonna be some there's gonna be some not fun language in here if you're gonna be offended easily. And so that's always a fun thing to see that people have to be warned about comedy.
Oh yeah, at the cheesy goof factory.
Yeah,
watch out, some knuckleheads are coming in.
I wish I could even think it was just this kind of fancy restaurant. It didn't even make sense. None of it made sense. And the average age was 82 years old. It was Florida. Everybody's fucking old, or a soon-to-be prisoner. And get in there, and there was, I think I did 4 shows. There was one show that had a small group of college kids, and they were my anchor that week. That they made everything worthwhile because it was they were laughing, but they had to quietly laugh, because no one else
Yeah, because you're in Olive Garden.
Yeah, yeah. I offended I had an old lady, though. Long story short, I had an old lady after one of the shows. She comes up to me, and she was like, you could only try to make people laugh by trying to be as offensive as Buddy Hackett. And I was like, oh, God, you're the worst. But I thanked her sarcastically. I was like, well, he had a great career. He was really good. And he was in Little Mermaid and stuff. And it she was trying to give me a good burn, but it really wasn't
Yeah, it's 1940s roast.
Yeah, also
burn.
yeah, if that's
you've got the gumption of George Goober Lindsay. How dare you?
If that's your reference, what are you doing? What is this?
Buddy Hackett was funny.
Yeah.
He's one of the top impressions people do, or they did, 40 years ago.
The rest of the podcast, we just talk like Buddy Hackett.
Oh my God.
I had another lady in Toledo. No, a guy, World War II vet.
Hey,
I
it's
believe.
2020. It can be either.
Yeah, they. After a show, it came up. I was with this guy, Jimmy Roulette from Austin. We were doing a show, having a really good time. But then afterwards, this ancient dude comes up. He shakes Jimmy's hand and says, I really loved your show. And then he goes to shake my hand. No, he never shook my hand. While he's shaking Jimmy's hand still, he doesn't look at me, but he kind of nods over to the area where I am at, which is right next to Jimmy, and he goes, "I didn't care for him at all." And it's like,
What did
dude,
old Jimmy Roulette do?
he laughed.
Spin
We
the
both
wheel?
laughed. What else are we gonna do? By the way, Jimmy's real name is Jimmy Winkfield, and he changed it for comedy to Roulette. Like, Winkfield is a great comedy
Yeah, that
name,
name
by
is
itself.
much better.
God damn it, Jimmy, get back to comedy.
There's a dude. There's a dude in New Orleans that his stage name is Corey Mack, and that's it's a fine name for comedy. But his real name is Corey Bostwick. And I'm like, that's a much better name.
Yeah.
Because he's also a black guy. So you're Bostwick, and you're like, hey.
Bostwick.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's like a nice chocolate mixer.
Yeah, do Bostwick. Come on.
I haven't gotten too many. I haven't. Most
Nobody's
people.
shit all over you right after the
Well,
show's
I think it's
done?
more of after the show, no one speaks to me at all.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've performed in my fair share of penny arcades and restaurants where no one knew anything was happening. I do remember one specific thing, and it was maybe 1 or 2 years into comedy, and this was in New Orleans. I was telling some joke, and the crux of it was, pussy looks like a sandwich that sneezed. And classic goof.
Yeah.
And, afterwards, some lady was a little cheesed off at me and was, saying that I didn't respect women and all this stuff. I was like, hey, that doesn't have anything to do with the joke. Leave me alone. Doug's not laughing enough to show that that's sarcastic, but I assure that the...
I was laughing. I'm trying to think. I know what's weird is it happens enough that it doesn't even register. And not that like every show everybody's like, God, you suck. Like, but it
There's
definitely
a line forming after every
it's
show.
complaints every time. But it definitely there's always gonna be someone that just is a terrible audience member and shouldn't ever go to a comedy club, and they're never gonna be happy with anything. And that's I don't like to give them the power of like, of course you're offended, but I take this as you be offended by anything. Go fuck yourself. I don't think I've ever gotten in a fight or anything, but.
No, all of my show fights have been with other comedians.
Yeah. There's
But like
a thing.
all the like wrist slapping after a show has just been like someone saying like that joke is mean or racist or sexist. I'll be like, yeah, it is. I'm stupid and I don't mean that stuff. And they're like, oh, I wanted you to argue with me about it. I'm like, no, I don't care about any of this.
Let's jump into sports. The Super Bowl happened, so that's a big deal. What did you do for the Super? Oh wait, it was
The Super Bowl. I went and had dinner with my beautiful girlfriend for her birthday.
Happy birthday, Ashley.
Yeah, her birthday was on Monday. We went to dinner on Sunday. I booked this reservation weeks before I knew when the Super Bowl was. Well, I knew it just didn't compute, or I knew the Saints weren't making it, and just like subconsciously, I was like, "Let's do this during that." But then when I realized, I was like, I don't really give a fuck. So I saw the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then from a place called...
Which was very boring.
Yeah, the first quarter, quite boring. And then I saw halftime from a place called Moonshadow in Malibu, where it was very expensive and everyone looked beautiful. I
Perfect
saw
Super Bowl place.
Shakira and J-Lo eating each other out.
Yeah, Scissor Sisters.
And then I glanced up and it was 20-10 Niners, and the Niners had just intercepted. And I said, fuck this. I don't give a fuck. And I didn't look at my phone until midnight and saw that the Chiefs had come back and won.
It was crazy. It was honestly, I think everybody kind of agreed that it was pretty boring for 3 quarters and then very exciting. It was weird. My wife's birthday was this weekend as well. And her birthday was Saturday, but her brother we went to Houston to hang out with her family and stuff because she's a nerd. And I said that sarcastically, but you didn't laugh, so I just felt evil. But then her brother threw a Super Bowl party on Sunday. It's funny. My wife's birthday is the 1st, and my mom's birthday is the 4th. And generally, the Super Bowl is on the 4th. So, like, my dad always watched Super Bowl, and it's just both of their birthdays are kind of overshadowed by the Super Bowl because we're both sports fans. But
But he hasn't had to worry about the Cowboys.
no,
being there
not in a
some
long time. So, but not for a very. But I'm such an NFL fan in general that as long as it's not like, I honestly don't like the Saints very much. But it's weird. The older I get, I'm like, because you like the Saints, I don't like the Niners at all. But David Huntsberger is a good friend and a podcast guest frequently. Because you guys are into those teams, I used to growing up, I hated them. But because you're into it, the older I get, the more sentimental I get. I'm like, well, Andrew will be happy.
Why would you hate the Saints growing up? The Cowboys skull fucked the Saints.
Well,
throughout our childhood.
I've told this story, but here's the deal: in the 7th grade-ish, this kid, I won't say his name.
You got molested by Whistlehead. That's what happened.
I had a buddy that was kind of the kid we just picked on in our group. And sorry, I just got a text from my wife that says, "Remind me to tell you about the gonorrhea shuffle." So let's note that.
We can pause.
Yeah. But growing up, there's this kid in our group that we used to pick on, and he was from Louisiana. He loved the Saints, and whatever he liked, we hated, and that was it. There was a time where I was watching, I've told the story, but I was watching a Buccaneers-Saints game here, and I was screaming at the TV. I have as far as Flynn is concerned, I love the Cowboys. That's it. She knows I love all the NFL, but I'm screaming at the TV because the Saints are going on a little tear. And she comes in, she's like, "What is your fucking problem? Like, you have nothing to gain here." And I was like, this kid in the 7th grade. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're a maniac." And I've kind of softened since then. And
what do you think that kid's doing now?
Oh, he killed himself a long time ago, for
goodness.
sure. No, I can't get a hold of him. I have a bit about it actually in my set right now, kind of about all this, but like more about how I used to pick on him so much. And I've been trying to get a hold of him, and I can't figure out how to. And it freaks me out when somebody isn't on social media and you used to bully them as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wow, man.
Prison or
Yeah.
eternal prison.
Right. So, but, he's doing well. It's all fine. He's it's good. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, I love football. I watch all the games I can, but.
Yeah.
Just circumstantial this year. I didn't watch it.
Right.
I watched the fucking Falcons in the Super Bowl, and I wanted the Falcons to win.
God,
like
the
there's such a weird disparity between college and the NFL, where like if Alabama is playing the championship or Auburn is playing the championship, everyone in the South is going SEC.
Yeah.
We got to prove that the South is the best. No one does that shit in the NFL. Like, no one's
Right.
like, well, the Saints lost. I hope the Falcons represent the NFC
Right,
South.
yes.
But I wanted the Falcons to win because it was like, well, fuck Tom Brady.
Exactly.
I would rather the Falcons win so I could say, at least we beat the Super Bowl champs
Yes.
this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why that kind of loyalty to a region leaves college in between the NFL. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. It's just a thing I've noticed.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like, college is just much more, I don't know, what the communal. Yeah, that's a weird disparity.
What's so
It's
weird,
strange.
because the most diehard college fans I know didn't even go to a college,
Right.
much
Yeah,
less
yeah,
the,
right.
the college they're
Yeah, they're
cheering
just like,
for.
this is my area. I like it. I fucked my sister.
LSU is the best example of that, by far.
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of, yeah, so my brother-in-law threw a party, and I'll just be honest, I got blackout. I had a really good time, and I remember really just cheering on. My father-in-law was on the couch next to me for a while, and he was like loving watching how animated I get for a team that I really don't have a connection with. But I really get into it, and we'd had a lot of drinks, and
Who are you going for?
I was going for the Chiefs. I
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I
Me
just think
too.
Mahomes is so fun to watch, and Andy Reid, give him a fucking ring already. It was great.
He's got a ring.
Yeah. Oh, right. Wait, what? Oh, from Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
But I understand.
But
what-
yeah, but give that mustache a ring. But it was fun to see that, and but yeah, it was weird. A couple days later, I was like, wait, I don't remember any of the end of that game, but I know I was having fun. But I'm recovering now, a couple days later, and but getting into the thick of it, Skip Bayless picked the Niners. He was upset that Shannon. Yeah, it's good, and Shannon pumps up Mahomes, but still picked the Niners because Shanahan, his son, like he played for Mike Shanahan, who was basically an unpaid employee of the Niners. So he kind of cheated on his prospect there, Mahomes. And he argued that Shanahan lost it, not Mahomes won it. And I kind of fall somewhere in the middle with that, where Shanahan definitely, to me, he's the new Andy Reid in Super Bowls, where he is now fucking, it's really bad. Like his play calling, you'd think, I really thought the Niners had an advantage because of the Atlanta Patriots Super Bowl, where he was like, with the previous game where he had Garoppolo throw it 8 times, I was like, he really learned he's going to do anything to get a victory. And then it gets to the Super Bowl, it's like, oh, man, he didn't learn anything.
Same old.
Man. But
But if you want to talk about bad play calling not getting you somewhere, Kyle Shanahan is not even close to Pete Carroll.
oh, yeah.
Pete Carroll gets
yeah.
away with this shit year after year. And maybe Seattle fans don't forget, but everyone else fucking forgets.
Right.
The play calling that Seattle has made in this year's playoffs and leading up to the playoffs completely just like put them in a grave.
Mm-hmm.
They had the 49ers number that what was it, the first Monday Night Football game of the season?
Oh, yeah.
Like the playoff collapse, the week before the playoff collapse, it's Andy Reid is like wiping his brow going, phew, watching this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, I wouldn't say that Shanahan lost it.
Well, Mahomes definitely had to, like, they had an argument. Skip and Shannon had an argument about who was the real MVP. And I honestly, that night, I was drunk, but I was like, what's the Williams? What's the running back for KC? Fuck.
Damian?
Yeah, Damian
Yeah.
Williams. He had a phenomenal game. He set the tone, all that. But you still have to be the quarterback to make that comeback. You can't.
Oh, yeah.
The running back.
That's why he, got the MVP with.
Yeah.
There's a quarterback that had 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, or 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I don't know why he takes the Mahomes route. He hates Patrick Mahomes because he loves Tom Brady. So Mahomes is now a threat because people are saying he's going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened in the NFL. Well, it's going to be very hard to get 6 Super Bowls. That's just maybe never going to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
But if anybody could do it, maybe him. But also, like, he argues that Mahomes is. I don't know why he has to shit on it so much, because Mahomes is already off to a pretty good start. His first year fully starting, he basically was a coin toss away from getting to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And also, was it Frank Clark or somebody jumped off sides and that fucked the whole AFC championship? So that could have, that's a weird history there. And then on top of that, second year or third year, technically, he goes to the Super Bowl and he wins it. So, and he got an MVP in between. Brady, when he's starting out, was basically a game manager.
Yeah, his Mahomes' resume versus experience is unparalleled.
Yes.
In the NFL so far. Maybe like Russell Wilson might be kind of close.
Right. But you throw Mahomes on let's say hypothetically you could put any quarterback anywhere. You throw Mahomes into Brady's position for the next 20 years. I mean, like, he's just got more talent than Tom Brady has. Like, Brady is so cerebral, and he's very good, and he's won a lot of Super Bowls, yes, but I just don't think he can do half of the shit that Mahomes can do.
Oh, absolutely not.
And
That's what's great about this new generation of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Seeing that stuff. It's so fun.
Dude, Lamar Jackson is a fucking video.
Watson.
Yeah. I'm excited for what's to come. Dak Prescott, the best quarterback we've ever seen.
Oh my God, man! I love the way he just lumbers around and looks like he's always, trying to answer a math question while smelling a broccoli fart. What a
Yeah, Dak's. That's another thing. This is an actual argument Skip Bayless has that Dak Prescott had a better season than Patrick Mahomes this year, which is inarguable to me, and I'm a Cowboys fan. That's dumb. That is just stupid. He did put up some good numbers this year for the first time ever, but it's all because we were losing all the time, so we'd have to throw it 80 times.
Yeah, Dak statistically had a good season, but did the Cowboys? No, and I think
No.
that's what a quarterback's record reflects.
Right.
Jameis Winston. If he'd had 4 more wins, he would have probably been an MVP consideration.
Right.
But since he didn't, it was, 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
This is insane.
That really was a crazy fucking season for Winston.
Man.
30 and 30. That was it, right? 30 and 30?
It was 30-30 split exactly.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
And like 5,000. He was the only
Jamie,
5,000
pull it
yards.
up.
Let's pretend we have a team here.
Penny, pull it up.
Yeah, Penny
No,
Penny is
you're
asleep next to
Just
Andrew.
sleeping and farting beans all over me.
By the way, Skip also said Patrick, he just can't give Mahomes anything, but he kind of gave it to him. He's like, Mahomes is the best quarterback until Tom Brady joins the 49ers next year. He was saying he would join. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. He was saying the Chargers, which there's been a lot of speculation. Now the Raiders are out there, but now he's saying it would be the perfect fit for him to go to the Niners. He grew up in Southern California, or wait, that's Northern California, but he grew up a Niners fan. He idolized Joe Montana. He thinks it'd be perfect for him. But, like, can you imagine him taking Jimmy G's job after kicking Jimmy G out of New England?
That would be amazing.
That would be kind of funny, actually.
Well, they were also talking about him doing that exact same thing in Indianapolis. He would have been taking Brissett's job.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wow.
Because the Colts were the first team that these morons were projecting him to go to. I
Right.
don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah. I don't think.
Did that Hulu
Man, I don't know.
commercial confirm that?
God damn it. Yeah. What? That picture being released pissed me off so much because it was like, it felt like, hey, this is all about me right now. It's Super Bowl week. And I get, in the end, it's like, if you're trying to, he's getting paid, whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, he needs more money.
Yeah, he needs.
Yeah. But it was just like a weird, like, I really did think it was a vein at the time. A vein, what am I going to do with this career? But, once it was like a Hulu commercial, like, hey, whatever, man, get your money. That's fine. But, I don't, like, but that
You
morning.
think Tom Brady has Hulu?
Yeah.
He's got like that Conan O'Brien satellite dish that gets every channel in the world.
He has VR beyond VR. He has
yeah.
something, we don't even know about, some crazy
He can
technology.
put on the headset and then be in the studio
Yeah.
watching the show being recorded live.
Well, he can actually just do that.
Yeah, probably.
He can be everywhere all the time. By the way, I think I talked about this last week, but Brady was at the Conor McGregor fight, and at one point, Skip Bayless just randomly was like, how good did Tom Brady look at that fight?
Oh,
Which I thought was a weird thing.
I thought he was going to say, do you think Tom, I think Tom could get in that ring. That's what I was expecting.
Oh, God,
out of
yeah,
Skip.
that sounds about right. Oh, but Brady, back to the Niners thing. It would be kind of funny if he took Jimmy G's job, but I just, who the, man.
He's not going anywhere. And Jimmy G, what is only full year starting?
Yeah, I could
Took him
see
to the Super
Belichick.
Bowl?
is ruthless, and I do think they both have ego issues where I am the reason we did this. I really do think there is a split somewhere in there, and there is leaked shit about that. But I don't know. I could see Belichick wanting to get rid of him because he clearly did a couple years ago with Jimmy G. But where is he gonna go? Like, I don't. Maybe the Chargers. John Gruden's insane, so I would never rule that out. But I think he doesn't do well. He's getting up there.
He's gotta stay with the Patriots. I
Yeah.
think it's a Kobe situation. He wants that same jersey. You know, like when you see a
Sorry.
photo of like Patrick Ewing in an Orlando Magic jersey, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't remember that. Like Tom Brady's gonna have to stay with the Patriots.
Right.
Also, I saw John Gruden walking in downtown Los Angeles a week and a half ago, 2 weeks
Whoa.
ago.
No way.
Yeah, he I saw photos the next day. He was at like a Cal State Fullerton basketball game or something a few days later.
Wow.
But I was driving to work furious because I was going to work. I see a man who looks like John Gruden walking in front of my car. This is like Figueroa and 3rd or
Right.
whatever. And this man who looks just like John Gruden turns and looks at me, and I see a khaki pants, a navy polo, and a motherfucking Raiders hat. I went, oh my God, that's
Oh,
John
shit.
Gruden. And then I, went about my merry way. But this is how much LA has changed me. I forgot that. I told...
Oh my God. Yeah. Totally.
when I was driving, it took me like 15 minutes to get to work after that, and I texted 2 people that I saw John Gruden. But if that had happened 5 years ago, I would have told that story to everyone I know for a month.
You run into so many celebrities that it doesn't register anymore.
Yeah, and it's like John Gruden isn't like, it's not like seeing Christian Bale at Whole
Right.
Foods. Like John Gruden shouldn't be here. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Also, I worked I don't even think I'm supposed to talk about this, but I worked for the Super Bowl this year. Did I even tell you this?
The Gronk thing?
Yeah, I worked for Gronk's beach party.
Nice.
And Shaquille O'Neal's Funhouse, which we were wondering if it was going to get canceled.
Oh, right.
Because there's
Kobe.
not a lot of fun in a funhouse when your,
Best teammate
good
died.
buddy dies
Yeah.
a few days before.
Oh, man. But, the party must go on. You got to get drunk during the
It
Super Bowl.
happened.
Mamba mentality.
There was one funny thing, and I don't care. I didn't send an NDA. I'm probably not supposed to be talking about it. But Shaquille O'Neal, his fun house, he's like a carnival house thing. He was doing some merchandise, which is the aspect I was working.
Right.
And it was like a bunch of Polaroids on it, and one of the Polaroids had him and the fat Jew.
Oh, whoa.
Who, if you're listening and
Fuck,
you're not a
that guy.
comedian, you might not know. The fat Jew is a man who's made his career by stealing from comedians.
Yeah, if you're following that guy on Instagram or whatever, just unfollow. It's
Yeah, there are
terrible.
plenty of meme accounts that just steal from each other, and they don't steal from like personal friends of ours and things like that. Just follow them. Unfollow the fat Jew. He's a loser. He's an asshole. He's an idiot, and he takes money out of comedians.
It's
pockets.
horrible. Like, yeah, that's a real. Hey, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, that's a real thing that a lot of people on Instagram, Twitter, they don't know that it's not on purpose or anything. But like, you might be following or passing around a thing that they don't know. It's just not cool to give the person that originally created that content credit for. But it happens all the time. I have close friends that do that kind of thing where they don't realize like, you're actually hurting me and my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not cool. So if really when you post like a funny meme or whatever, make sure you know that source that it came from is the actual source. So that's
Yeah,
little PSA there.
There's a thing now where a lot of those accounts are like taking tweets that you or I would do.
Yeah.
And they'll fake the screenshot with another account that doesn't exist.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of I had one tweet get stolen and made very popular on Instagram and stuff. and they just started cropping out my name and my head and the profile picture.
Right.
But now what they'll do is they'll put a fake profile picture and a completely fake name. If you type that name into Twitter, it doesn't exist.
Holy shit. Be careful out there, guys.
But there was a T-shirt that had Shaq and the Fat Jew on it in like a collage of photos.
Oh, man.
And there was kind of like some back and forth about the controversy surrounding him, and they replaced it with a photo of him and Gronk instead.
Oh, wow.
So, a little justice.
Wow. Thanks for opening our eyes a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that we got to actually talk about that, because that is a thing people need to... if you do that, it's, you didn't know.
Yeah, I completely understand why somebody doesn't
Yeah.
know. It's not something normal people would probably ever think about, but there is like a lot of stuff that you or I or any number of our friends might just throw into the ether, and some teenager with an Instagram account with 60,000 followers goes, "Hey, that's funny. That's mine now."
Yeah.
And then, they parlay that into a hot Cheeto sponsorship, and we're out here, dancing for nickels.
Oh, man.
What are we talking about? Andy Reid?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. We'll get back to Skip Bayless. This is a funny, horrible observation I noticed. Skip Bayless, during one of his Super Bowl week lead ups to the Super Bowl, he I don't know if that was English, but he said that this year, because he didn't really have a real dog in the fight, he said this is really how he worded it. I let my wife watch the Super Bowl with me this year. Like he's this charitable man. And, I've read from her book, his wife's book, like that's basically about how
Captive
their marriage
prisoner.
Yeah. So I just, oh man, like the fact that like, A, that it would be a fun thing for her, and B, like, you're that much of a brat that like it's just not enjoyable normally. Like, and that also implies that, and he's talked about it, he has to be by himself to watch games because he's so miserable most of the time. Like, is that life? Like, I don't understand what that even is.
To do it is one thing. To make public statement
Right.
of it is another.
Yeah, because I know
there's like a whole group of men going, "Yep, that's right. I watched the Super Bowl alone." Oh man,
It's kinda sad.
How long is her chain to the radiator? 8 feet? 4 feet? 4 feet.
That
She
ain't-
risks getting a burn. 8 feet. She could get close to a doorway. I don't.
He also referenced himself as so Shannon Sharp again built up Patrick Mahomes, but then picked the 49ers. He changed at the last minute, and I gave him a lot of shit for that. Skip Bayless gave him a lot of shit, and he referred to Shannon, I think, as like they call him Shay Sharp sometimes. He referred to Shannon as Anyway Shay or something, some dumb nickname. But then he refers to himself as Never Flip Skip. Meanwhile, he hated Kawhi Leonard when he left the Spurs, and now he's his biggest fan again. He also threw Dak's jersey away after he sucked after the Tennessee game last year. Now he's his biggest fan again. He says he never flips on teams or whatever, rooting. And then he also threw Zeke's jersey away, and then he was back the next week.
Well, he's throwing it away into his weird trash can that's blocking a microwave that's 3 feet up in the middle of his kitchen island.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is not normal. His whole life is not normal, I guess. But
it's like those people you see on Twitter that are like burning somebody's jersey. And the only thing I can think when I see that is like, you have $80, you can burn a jersey. What are you, a child?
yeah, but he's not burning it. It's funny. I was looking up a tweet for the next thing, but as I was looking up Skip Bayless, Tyrann Mathieu, Skip Bayless trash can came up immediately because that really was such a fascination.
People are just weirded out by his fucking house.
Yeah. He's a psychopath. What else would you? Why would there not be a microwave at your feet? But Skip Bayless apparently during Super Bowl week tweeted, "The Chiefs are getting on my nerves. They have become awfully full of themselves," which they really weren't. Like
No.
there wasn't any overhype. The media in general. It's not just Skip. They have to create these fucking narratives. It's terrible.
The cockiest NFL teams this season were the 49ers, the Ravens, and the Saints.
Yeah, 40. Yeah. That sounds about
That's
right.
it. And
Well,
the
even-
Browns before week
they were the
3.
cockiest. Yeah,
The Browns were the cockiest preseason motherfuckers.
but even Lamar Jackson was on the best team for a long time, but he was very humble about it. Like
Yeah.
it was the rest of the team that was talking. But Skip had this braggadocious or this anti-Chiefs braggadocious tweet, and then right under it, Tyrann Mathieu wrote, "Shut up, bitch." And
was that real? I never verified if that
I'm
was real.
pretty positive it's real, and thanks
If
for
we
the
want
people
it
that
to
pointed
be,
that
it
out.
is.
Yeah, I want it to be, so I'm just gonna say that it was real.
Good on the honey badger.
Yeah, fuck, I love that guy.
You know he doesn't. He gets mad at the nickname Honey Badger now.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he watched the video and he didn't like it.
What?
Yeah,
It's a great video.
I think
It's still
he-
classic.
I don't think he liked the voice.
Well, he's wrong. It's a great video. And,
Well, he's a Super Bowl champ now, so he can do whatever he wants to.
mhm.
LaShawn McCoy, also a Super Bowl champ now.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow, way to go.
Damian,
Did he
whatever
have
his
one
face-
snap?
He was inactive.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Fucking
been out for a
11
while,
years
yeah.
in the league, inactive for the Super Bowl. That
Oh,
sucks.
man. God, get him in there. Just let him have
Yeah,
a
let him
down.
hobble in there a little bit.
Yeah. Sammy Watkins actually played very well.
Yeah.
Sammy, this was a funny quote. He said, I think this is before the Super Bowl. They were asking him, like, are you thinking about retiring? You thinking about playing on, staying with the Chiefs? Because I guess he's a free agent next year. He said he was thinking about going somewhere else. And if they didn't win, he was thinking about going somewhere else and creating his own Super Bowl team if he didn't retire. And I was like, what does that even mean? How are you going to create a fucking Super Bowl team by yourself?
He's wearing an eye patch.
Yeah.
Like, I'll create the Super Bowl team.
All right, moving on. Skip Bayless also this week argued that if Tom Brady still had Antonio Brown, they would have won the Super Bowl.
Huh.
Or they would be at the Super Bowl, which is interesting. And also, that's just, to me, the dumbest argument because you're the layers of, like, reasons why Antonio Brown couldn't be at the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah, if Tom Brady had a laser gun and they allowed laser guns in the Super Bowl to fight the team that didn't have laser guns, you could win the Super Bowl. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
Like,
Tom Brady had a Pacific Rim robot. I think he. Yeah, it's like would have catching a few passes made Antonio Brown stop having a complete breakdown?
Yep, not at all.
Didn't work for Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, and we're all watching that documentary currently. His AB's documentary will be coming out in the next couple years.
Oh yeah, and then they're gonna blame it all on him being gay, just
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
did with Hernandez.
Yeah, man, that was a plot twist I did not see coming. I didn't know. Was that a thing that was out there before?
I know that I knew about the quote unquote prison boyfriend, which I don't even think was necessarily true, but I'd heard the gay rumors through a prison boyfriend.
Weird. Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
He's gay. He's a murderer. It's 2020, baby.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I watched most of that murder shit, but I haven't checked that out yet. But there's just too much fucking content out there.
It's true. As we're making a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, about content that's
Yeah.
already out there.
Hey, did you guys see the Super Bowl?
Skip Bayless. I got to talk about this by myself last week. I did a solo episode, but I got to address this with somebody else. Sorry, Andrew is petting my dog's paw, which is adorable. It's ridiculous, right? You got to do that. It's so silly.
How can you not do it? It's
God
like a little
damn it.
boop on the nose, scratch on the paw.
That's so great.
Penny, buy our calendar.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Penny at the luckiest penny on Instagram has a calendar for sale. First round went nuts. Everybody bought them, but they're back. Skip Bayless got upset at Shannon Sharp during Super Bowl week because Shannon made it known that he was pitching some products, and Skip basically was saying like, "You're selling products on the side. I'm here to work." I think this is again why I think that it's all real. Skip Bayless is not a fake persona. I think he does up it for the show, but I think that he really believes that he is as important as Michael Jordan or Tom Brady. If he's thinking that that Shannon Sharp can't pitch shows, he also got upset at Shannon like a couple weeks ago because there was a guy on Jeopardy that was breaking records, and Skip loves watching Jeopardy, and he didn't want to know the outcome, and Shannon accidentally let it be known that this guy did not win the Jeopardy record or whatever.
Skip's got a DVR.
Yeah, and he was DVR, and Shannon was like, "Oh, I thought you knew. I thought you were watching." Bless you. He's like, "I thought you were watching because you're a fan of the show." And Skip got upset and was like, "No, I don't watch during the week because I have to watch sports for our show." And Shannon, I think, basically over the air was like, "Bless you, dude. What is up with the fucking allergies here? It's crazy." We'll get into that later. People
I'm allergic
love
to
it.
fun, Doug.
So Shannon basically got in trouble again because he wasn't watching enough sports during the week, and Shannon at the moment was like, because Skip said he'd watch some games that night instead of Jeopardy, and Shannon was like, "What game was even on last night?" And it was something like the Nuggets. And Skip said he had to watch the Nuggets for their show. And it's like, you only talk about Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and LeBron James. Why do you have to fucking watch this game that you're not going to talk about? He's insane. He's an insane person.
I think what's striking there is that Jeopardy, I think, could be considered a sport.
Oh, true. Hey.
People competing.
Hey.
Equal playing field, 300 games a year. There's no more. They removed the repeating
That
champion
is the
thing.
most games in a year of
It is.
anything.
The stakes are pretty goddamn high.
Yeah.
The playing field is pretty goddamn level, and it's incredibly hard to get into.
True.
Jeopardy's a sport.
Yeah.
Shea, just ahead of the crowd on this one, I think.
Yeah.
It's also funny that Skip is watching like the Pelicans and the Nuggets play at 4:30
Yeah.
on the West Coast, so he cannot talk about
Yes.
it
Like
because of the Super Bowl halftime show or whatever made him
Right.
mad. Like Skip is going to talk about a Cricket wireless commercial for 30 minutes before he mentions the Timberwolves game he didn't watch.
I'm going to show you an image now.
Uh-oh.
And have you react. I don't know
Lemon
if you,
party.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah. If you don't follow Skip Bayless on Instagram, but don't support him. But he posted a picture. I won't say what it is. I want to show Andrew first. But it says, "Ready for the beach today on South Beach ahead of tomorrow's big undisputed Super Sunday show on Big Fox from 11 whatever."
Ah, fuck.
Anyway, and then here's the picture. It's Skip shirtless and kind of flexing, and it's very disturbing.
Definitely. I don't know if he's flexing, but he's definitely sucking in.
Yeah, he's definitely sucking in, and it's just the look on his face is disturbing. The whole thing is disturbing.
Oh my god.
Who like?
I'm being handed the phone physically now.
Yeah, it's who fucking does that? Like, it's for teenagers.
It kind of looks like pubes. I'm guessing those are shorts. God damn it! This
Just
is
a wall of pubes.
this is like the body of a 32-year-old that sucks his waist in. That's it. He's got the face of an old wallet. He looks like a jack-o'-lantern left out in the sun. And then he's trying to flex on hoes on Instagram. Come on, dude.
And his wife probably took the picture. Like,
Yeah.
hey, can you take this picture? Like, seriously, she probably. He's.
I hope he made the waiter take the photo, and the wife's just sitting back there being sad.
Oh God damn it! It just gets deeper. Why is she even in this? Why is she doing this? Get out of there, Ernestine. All right. It's time for my favorite segment of the podcast. It's where we start a rumor about Skip Bayless every week. This week, I thought we could maybe join forces if you're down.
All right.
Because I didn't really think this all the way through. So maybe together we can figure this out. But I heard there's a new Indiana Jones 5 film that's coming out. They're starting production kind of soon. Harrison Ford, for whatever reason, who is 100 years younger than Skip Bayless, is starring in it. And I heard Skip Bayless is going to play the main Nazi enemy character in it, Thomas von Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's something about a relic that, it's again like back in time where it all takes place. And it's the relic that gives Bill Belichick and Tom Brady's the powers to cheat and stuff.
This is in The Reporter, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because he has to go back in time and kill Von and Check Bledsoe
Right.
to assume the legacy sooner.
Yeah.
And in this scenario, he's more like Indiana Jones is more of a time knot, and he has to go back and prevent history from being rewritten by savage lunatics.
Yeah. And it's all real. And
But it also leads into the sequel of Skip's Nazi character going into the future to kill Jacoby Brissett, who he thinks is taking your Nazi Brady's throne, right?
yeah.
I can't remember all the silly names, but this seems to be the gist of it.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, there's a side story about that that you would have made much funnier right now.
Well, I remember the rumor that I heard this week of an independent news. I'm a newsophile. I listen to different
of course.
sources. What I heard was that that Skip Bayless accidentally tried to kill Janine Garofalo.
Oh, wow.
Thinking that it was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Wow. It kind of checks out. And
And there's like this secret celebrity Law and Order system where they go to a different court that we never hear about, and the punishments are not things that are within our judicial system.
Right.
And that his punishment was that he had to watch The Truth About Cats and Dogs like A Clockwork Orange, where they taped his eyes open and he had to watch it for 18 hours.
Don't make me feel sorry for Skip.
I'm just telling you about the court.
Oh, man. Thank you for that. I'm glad
Do you think he's okay?
I mean, he's never going to be okay.
If you could help him, would you?
My whole thing is that for any human being that's this unreasonable, give him some mushrooms and just be like, hey, come around to fucking humanity, bro.
And now you're saying that because you're from the Austin comedy scene. And you've seen how many minds have been melted by the internet.
He's never going to fucking... Oh, man, can you imagine doing mushrooms with Skip Bayless? He's the only person that could fuck that up.
I feel like the mushrooms wouldn't work on him.
Yeah, probably. He's like a person that would resist. He would freak out. He would freak out, and he'd have to take care of me. Which, it happens. I've definitely been that person where it's like, I'm not having a good time, man. Help me out.
I think I'm always that person. I just won't admit it. I think every time I've done mushrooms, I've freaked out. I've just never said it to another person. I've just been like, this is great.
You gotta say it. It's fine. People want to help in that situation.
No, I got to be in charge. That's what I got to do.
But I mean, it's easy to get out if somebody knows. It's just distraction. I'm a big advocate of mushrooms. Always do them. Be smart about them. Don't do them by yourself indoors, like I have done many times.
Indoors?
Yeah, I've done them here a lot, and it's not a big place, but
There's a lot going on in here for mushrooms.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at.
Stuff to look at.
Yeah.
If you're going to do mushrooms indoor, you need to be in a racquetball court.
Yeah.
an empty vessel where you can't hurt yourself.
Right. Yeah. 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 There's a lot here. But well, hey, man. I think that's the episode. Thanks
right.
for. Is there anything you want to plug or get out there? People find you on social and all that.
I think it's my third time on the pod. And every time my availability online is wavering. I'm a little more public now. I'm on Twitter at Colton Burpo, which is a name I'm very happy to have. And I'm on Instagram at Nude Karate Man, which is private.
Where did that come from, by the way?
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, thanks.
I've always thought being nude was funny, and I've always loved karate. So it's just a romance born in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. I have one follower from the show, Anime Bay.
Oh yeah, Anna Bay, right?
Anime Bay.
Yeah.
I don't know her at all. It's just somebody followed me and also followed the podcast. I was like, yes,
Well,
a
thanks.
fan. But I hate to say fan because I don't want to put. We're all friends here. Anyway, shout out to Anime Bay.
Yeah,
I don't
thank
know
you.
you, but thank you for listening. And I like Dragon Ball Z too.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah,
I don't have any shows coming up. No one will book me. I'm not doing
Well,
anything.
you'll be booked here again.
And I
Well, let's
that's it.
let's make some porn as soon as we're off.
All right.
Off the air. We'll
Penny,
make our own
get out of here.
more content. No, she can join. It's
All
fine.
right, Penny,
Um,
stay.
Well, and you also, you were the designer of the burrito shirts that people are loving. So thanks for that.
I designed those burrito shirts.
Hell yeah. So, grab those babies while they're hot. And I don't think I'm on the road until the end of the month and at the Velveeta Room. So check that out.
Ooh, Austin.
Austin, can't wait to get back. Thanks for tuning. Thanks, Andrew.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace.
69th Base with Doug Millard was recorded in front of a live studio audience presented by Hormel Chili Radio Productions.